Hey everybody, welcome back to Sportsnet Central Montreal. Today we've heard a lot about the Alouettes, but for a view from the opposing bench, we go to Stephen Brunt for the last word. Stephen, much like Montreal, the Tiger-Cats had a tough start to the season, only winning one of their first 7 games. How did they manage to finish first in the East with a start like that?
Well, they did come together at midseason. There were some X factors early in the year. They lost their starting quarterback, Zach Collaros. They lost their starting running back, CJ Gable. They had some very tough injuries that set them back. And they're the youngest team in the league. You know, they remade this team even over the last offseason. So I think there were issues in the team coming together and maturing, but they did at midseason, and they've been a very good football team, a very good defensive football team, especially from about midseason on. And
now this Hamilton team has undefeated record at their new home, Tim Hortons Stadium. How important is home field advantage against the Owls?
Well, it has been a factor this year. It's been interesting since they finally got to move into Tim Hortons Field. It was delayed and delayed and delayed. They finally got in there on Labor Day. You know, and this is a team that had played last year in Guelph. They played at McMaster at the beginning of this year. They've been kind of running around on buses. They didn't have a home. So they seemed to settle in once they had a permanent place, their new permanent home, and it's been a very comfortable spot. The Labor Day game against Toronto was very, very close, but since then, they've mostly dominated teams there. It's not, you know, Ivor Wynne used to be a tough place to play for visiting teams. This isn't Ivor Wynne. It's nicer, you know, it's cleaner. The opposing dressing room's a little nicer, but it's got a little bit of that same edge to it, and the fans are really close to the field the way they were at Ivor Wynne.
And you got the open top there as well, so we'll see how the weather holds up. You know, Hamilton did get the best of Montreal in the last regular season matchup. Are you expecting a different outcome?
I declare my biases, right? I'm a season's ticket holder. I'm a Hamilton guy. I've been going to games since I was 4 years old. So, yeah, I'm hoping they're going to win. And I do think they will, although it's an interesting matchup. You know, it's really going to be that Hamilton defense, which is very hard to run against. I mean, Montreal obviously pushed BC around in the semifinal and ran at will. They're not going to be able to do that against Hamilton. If they can, Montreal will win the game. So you take that away, and what you're talking about is a very good Montreal defense against Collaros and guys like Brandon Banks. I don't think Andy Fentouz is necessarily going to play for Hamilton. And the other side, the big matchup to me is going to be Delvin Breaux, the great Tiger-Cat cornerback, one of the best DBs in the league, versus Duron Carter, who is the best receiver in the league, period, and is going to be in the NFL next year. He shut him down the last time they played pretty effectively. So it's going to be up to Crompton and up to Duron Carter, I think, to score the points for the Owls if they're going to win the game. So there'll be some heat on Crompton, and he will face a tough pass rush. Zach Collaros will face the same. I expect kind of a defensive game and a grinded-out game, kind of classic November football.
Well, hey, listen, you know I'm from Montreal, so you know who I'm rooting for, right, Stephen? I know you're a Tiger-Cats season ticket holder, so I know who you're rooting for, so we'll have to talk about this next week. I'll see you then.
We'll settle this after the game.